Today, we'll go over 5 steps on how to reset and achieve your big family money goals before this year wraps up. Welcome to Simplify and Enjoy, the podcast and community focused on helping families have less stress and more options through minimalism and financial independence. I'm your host, Elle Martinez. This podcast is sponsored by Coastal Credit Union. Coastal's mission is to help you live a better life by offering you a better way to bank. Find out how at bankbetter.org. It's the first full week of September. How are things going for you this year so far? Looking back at 2023, it's honestly been a year of ups and downs for us. I'll just take summer break as an example. We did 2 family trips around North Carolina, which we certainly needed, and it was so good to relax and spend time with our loved ones. Unfortunately, we also had to deal with my mom being in the hospital in the first part of July. So for a few weeks, our focus was on her. Thankfully, she's doing so much better now. My attention was on taking care of that and some other family things. So during the summer, I cut back on projects and some work I had originally planned for here on the site and the podcast. I feel a little bit weird saying this on this podcast in particular, but yeah, I wasn't as diligent as I usually am with the finances. Here's the thing though. For the most part, we're still on track for our family's financial goals. How? Well, years ago when we were taking our first steps on our financial journey, and we were paying down the debt and saving for emergencies and investing for future things like retirement, we developed habits and a financial system that made it easier for us to stay with our goals, even if we had a hiccup. Because I do believe that there are going to be times that you have to just give your attention to your family first, and you have to put maybe pause or on the back burner the more minute details of your finances. But if you have a financial system already set up, you could take care of both. You could be less stressed about the finances, and you're better able to handle life's curveballs. So today I want to share some ways that you can reset things and make managing your money easier. And the good news, you still have 16 full weeks before this year is over. There's still plenty of time for you to make progress on your family and financial goals. Are you ready? Let's get started. Staying on top of your money doesn't have to be complicated. Whether you're someone who loves spreadsheets or you're more of a big picture person, I think we can all agree that simplifying our finances and streamlining them allow us to focus on the people and projects that matter most to us. Listen, it is really easy to dive into the weeds with finances, and if you love to nitpick on the little details, go for it. But if you're looking for big wins with your money, here are 5 things you need to focus on. The first is develop laser focus on your goals. I get it. We want to do it all. We want to have a lot of wins at the end of the year, but don't try to focus on spending your energy on so many things across the board. That's an easy way to get burned out. I've experienced it myself where I was trying to work on our expenses and cut back on multiple things. But a better approach would actually be focusing on one goal or one step at a time. I think that's one reason why systems like Dave Ramsey's Baby Steps can be so effective, is that they tell you piece by piece, this is what you're working on, ignore the rest, and as you hit it, then you move down that list. It's not exactly for everyone, and you don't have to be so hardcore, but it does have truth with the idea of prioritizing. For example, you might be tackling paying down debt. I have a whole episode on different methods of paying down debt, but what they have in common is that you give the minimum payments on them, and then you focus on one at a time. It's that idea of your attention and energy is focused on one, and then you continue moving down that list. So if you have multiple goals that you're working on, try to hone in on your top 1 or 2 that you'd like to finish before the year is up. Again, you have 16 weeks. You can make a lot of progress in time. The second takeaway is align your